Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Breaking news that I want to share with you guys. Sean Diddy Combs' trial, the prosecution have dismissed three of the RICO charges against him, which I'm going to explain to you why the prosecution have made that decision before they do their closing arguments. Also, I'm going to talk about the interview that I watched with Candace Owens and Jason Lee. And I have to say, it was very interesting to watch. And I just want to give my input on that interview. Welcome back, everyone, to That's It. Okay, you guys. So, yes, the prosecution has dismissed three charges of the RICO against Sean Diddy Combs. And I'm going to tell you which three charges they have let go, dismiss, but they're not completely dismissed the whole charges of RICO, just certain parts of it. So, one, Capricorn, Diddy's former assistant, they're dismissing the kidnapping charge. Also, they're dismissing the arson that Kid Cudi has testified, saying that Diddy blew up his car. And the next thing that they did, they are dismissing is the certain sex trafficking charges against Diddy. Now, I know a lot of people are freaking out or like saying, "What does this mean?" And I have to say, this is a very smart, strategic move for the prosecution because in their mind, there's not enough information, not enough evidence to point out, that Sean Diddy Combs was involved in that. Obviously, it's the witnesses' word against Sean Diddy Combs, and the prosecution feels like, you know what, they can't prove it. So before they do their closing argument, they had to, remove that because they want to have a strong, solid case, which that makes sense because obviously Diddy's defense team, they're not having any witnesses testify on behalf of Diddy. They're not having anyone testify. Like I said, Sean Diddy Combs is not testifying on his behalf. They're just going to show different exhibits and evidence, and they feel like this is a strong case for him. Now, what does that mean? Is there a possibility that Combs can walk free? It's a possibility, but we're not there yet. Again, they still have to do their closing arguments, but I have to say this is the best move for the prosecution to remove those three charges. Excuse me, I had something on my throat, and then they had to pull it back. They have to pull it back because they had to prove that Sean Diddy Combs was the one orchestrated the kidnapping against Capricorn. They had to prove that Sean Diddy Combs was the one that blew up Kid Cudi's car. They had to prove certain things of the sex trafficking charges, and they needed to make their evidence, everything stick for the jurors. Because once the closing argument starts, that's everything that the jurors going to need to deliver the verdict to plead Combs guilty or not guilty. So I'm glad that they did that. That's the best move that they can have done, and we just gotta hope for the best. And closing argument starts, I believe, tomorrow or Friday, and then by next week we will know if Diddy is going to walk free out of that courtroom or he's going to spend the rest of his years in prison. So we're all going to wait and see and what that's going to determine. Now, moving on to the interview of Candace Owens and Jason Lee. And when I can tell you guys, when I watched it, I'm like, okay, Candace Owens, obviously she had valid points, what she said, in regards to, trans gender men dressing up as women and stuff like that. And Jason Lee, excuse me, did a great interview for Candace Owens. But there's certain things I did not agree with, that I did not like what he said in regards to that. And Candace Owens do have a point. Like you can have Rachel, what's her name? Rachel hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. Dorzar, a woman who not dressed up, pretended that she was black when all actually she was a white woman, blonde hair, freckles, and pretended to be black. And if anyone don't remember Rachel, I'm going to point this out to you. Yes, okay, a woman who pretended to be black when all around, all reality, excuse me, that she was a white woman, picturing herself to be a black woman, have her hair and put dark, not dark hair, but put her skin tone, not skin tone, let me rephrase that. She made her skin look darker, okay? She had her hair more kinky, okay? She had this persona that she was black when all actually she was really white. And what Candace Owens was trying to tell Jason is that it's basically the same thing as a man dressing up as a woman. He's pretending to be a woman when all reality it's a man. Doesn't matter how many surgeries the man gets. It doesn't matter if he's full blown, look like a woman. At the end of the day, he's going to die as a man. There's nothing that you can say or do. And then Jason Lee could not understand that. He could not comprehend that it's totally different when all in reality it is the same. Because you have Rachel who pretended to be a black woman when she is really white. She was playing dress up. It is the same thing with a man who pretends to be a woman and dress up as a woman when when reality, that's still a man. Now, I'm going to let you listen to this video of Candace Owens and Jason Lee and how they had a small debate. And I really like what Candace Owens had to say, and she was really, really spot on. And I have to say, I agree with her. I agree with her 100%. And I'm going to let you hear her own words, what she had to say about the comment. Oops, sorry.
Being black, which is like obviously you're born black, you know what I mean? That's not something that I have to basically try to convince you that like, no, this is real. This person, look at the color of the skin. It's like, yeah, obviously we have different races. It's very obvious this person's black. On the trans stuff, you're asking me to be crazy. You're asking me to look at a grown man and imagine that he's actually a woman, and that if he goes and gets work done, that he magically becomes a woman. So it's insanity. And I definitely let's not conflate it with being black. Otherwise, you have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no. Well,
would you defend her?
Well, there's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she was a white woman that said she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying he's a woman.
But let's back up. I don't think that anybody grows up wanting to be discriminated against, wanting to have feelings, or wanting to have identity where they know they're going to bring that type of adverse reaction. Do you think gay people grow up gay or are born gay, or that's an evolution?
Genuinely, I just am trying to get you pinned down here on how you can say that but not acknowledge if Rachel Dolezal, if we're talking about the trans issue, she's transracial.
Right.
So give her respect. Put respect in her name.
Explain to me how.
Because on the inside she felt black. She was dressing like she was black.
Right.
She was making her skin darker like she was black.
Right.
She was standing for the black cause. She was working for the NAACP. Just happened to be that she was, a white girl with blonde hair and freckles. And it only became problematic when somebody exposed it and people said, no, you can't just be black. Why not? If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be black? You got to be consistent.
Because she's white.
Okay, because it's a man.
No, but hold on. I get it.
I'm right.
I get it.
I'm right.
No.
Pause. Exactly. So what's the difference? There's no difference. It's basically the same thing. So why is it not okay for Rachel to pretend that she's black when she's really white? But then it's okay for a man to dress up as a woman and to pretend that he's a woman. How is that different? There's no difference. It's like you're comparing orange and apples when it's basically the same thing. So that's the thing I don't understand. How Jason Lee don't understand where Candace Owens is coming from. It's basically the same thing. But he's saying that no, Rachel Dolezal, she's crazy and she shouldn't be pretending that she's black. But it's okay for a man can pretend to be a woman and be trans. I don't understand that logic. Please help me make sense of this and help me make me understand this, because I really don't. But continue on.
I don't agree, and this is not a matter of right or wrong.
But it is.
Hold on.
This one is.
Let me tell you. Two truths. One thing can be true, right? Two things can be true. You can put a lipstick on a pig and it can still be a pig. You can call it whatever you want. Yeah. You can call it bacon. Right. You can call it a side meal. It's still a pig. So right. I'm not saying right or wrong, and we're too early into the conversation to get into who's right or wrong, because there's a lot to get into. But it's a matter of perception, a matter of experience. Like, I can't tell you what it's like to be a black woman. You can't tell me what it's like to be a black man. You can't tell me how it feels to be biracial. You can't tell me how it feels to be gay. I can't tell you how it feels to be straight. Because we all have our own lived experiences. I guess what I'm trying to unpack is why you believe the transsexual's experience is not one that deserves to be validated.
Yeah, and I'm similarly trying to unpack why you don't believe Rachel Dolezal's lived experience is one that should.
No, I do. I understand, and that's the conflation where you're trying to unpack one topic by putting up
exactly
another. But we can't ask why a rhinoceros isn't an elephant. We're talking about an elephant, and the elephant in the room is that you have a skewed perception, in my opinion, about a transsexual's experience, and I'm simply asking, why do you feel like it doesn't deserve to be validated if that's how the person feels? Because you know what you guys do, and I'm going to say you guys that have strong opinions.
But I just got one person sitting
here.
here.
These strong opinions. No, it's people that you represent because you have very strong opinions. And what happens when it comes to the LGBT community is you'll conflate pedophilia by using children and gay, which are two different things.
I'm not conflating here. Your argument is that if someone who is not clearly being born with a penis, for example, decides that in their lived experience, actually, no, they should have had a vagina, and so they're going to start living like they have a vagina and getting cosmetic procedures like they have a vagina, that suddenly I should respect that. I'm saying, okay, keep it consistent, and say the exact same thing about Rachel Dolezal. You hesitate. For some reason, you don't want to do that. And so,
no, I said she was crazy.
Exactly. So you have to keep it ideologically consistent. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying to you, I'm consistent. Rachel is not a black woman.
Right.
And a trans person can't just wake up one day and decide to be a woman. A man can't wake up one day and decide to be a woman because of lived experience.
That's it.
I'm sorry that I'm consistent, but you have to figure out why you're not.
No, Michael Jackson would be a better explanation because he was actually born your color and died a little lighter than me.
So that's so black.
Michael Jackson died a black man.
No, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. The difference, though, in terms of Rachel Dolezal, she's a white woman.
Okay, I cut that off. So I agree. I agree with Candace Owens. I don't understand Jason Lee logic behind this. It's basically he's saying it's not okay for Rachel Dolezal to become black, but it's okay for a trans man to become a woman. I don't understand that logic, but whatever. The next thing that really kind of like annoyed me and pissed me off in the next video that I'm going to share with you guys is when Candace Owens, said to him, she knows, she mentioned this is her fourth child. She knows what she's having. The doctors told her what she was having. And like I said, God is not an author of confusion, okay? He made a woman and a man, okay? A boy and a girl. There's no confusion. That's why we have chromosomes. That's why female chromosome is XX, male chromosome is XY. There's no way to get past that, avoid it. That's the right word I'm trying to get at. There's no way to get to avoid that, okay? You're a male or you're a female. Now, if you dress up as a woman, you're a man and you dress up as a woman, you're going to be a man, okay? At the end of the day, I just didn't like the comment that Jason Lee said, most women can't get pregnant. What that have to do with anything? That have nothing to do with what the whole interview is about. Yes, most women can get pregnant. So that's mean it shouldn't be a woman. You know what I mean? My husband and I have been trying to get pregnant for the last 5 years. So to me, it's very insulting that he would say that, make that comment. It's not. And again, and I like the fact that Candace Owens defended women by saying that it's not our fault. God made us a womb, okay, for us to get pregnant. He did not make a man to have a womb, okay? It would never happen, period. Men cannot get pregnant. Men cannot have their periods. Men do not get cramps, okay? None of that. That will never happen. Men will not give birth, okay? That's just science, plain and simple. And for people to minimize it and thinking that can happen, you're crazy. You're crazy to me. You're very delusional. You're crazy. And for him to say that, Jason, it's just very absurd. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't understand how people can just entertain this. You know what I mean? Men can get pregnant. Men can have periods. What is a woman? It's common sense. What is a woman is women have XX chromosome. Men have XY. That's what a woman is. Okay, a woman can give birth. A woman have their menstrual cycle. Okay, a woman can do a lot of things that men cannot do. It's very simple and very common sense. And I just didn't like the fact that the comment that he made is just very insulting to many women out there in the world. And I just want to let you listen to his words and what he had to say about that.
Talk about why can the doctor tell you, why do I know that I have a male in my stomach right now? Why are they able to do that? Mm-hmm. Right? We can go back to X and Y. All women can have kids, though.
You see, all women cannot have kids. What the fuck he had to say that? Like, excuse my French, what the fuck he had to say that? For what? Like, that's our fault that we can't get pregnant? You know what I mean? That's not our fault. You know what I mean? Just like I said, God made us to have wombs, okay, for us to conceive and to make a baby and to bring life into the world. So for him to say that is very irrelevant. Like what was he getting at when he made that comment? That's what I would like to know.
There's a lot of women that aren't able to have children.
I'm just saying, why are they even able to give you a gender test to tell you what are they looking for? We are different chromosomally. We are just literally different. Yeah. Biologically, we are two different species. And so it's not a behavior. It's like this person, and even if you say, okay, some women can't have children, that means something has gone wrong.
Right.
In a perfect world, every woman has a womb and therefore can have a child. Things can go wrong, of course. But it doesn't change the rules. It doesn't mean like suddenly, well, that means a man can be a woman. That's crazy.
That's
Listen, the trans argument is a easy argument to have because there's so much around the trans movement.
Okay. Like it's just absurd. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It's just like I keep saying, common sense just went out the window. Like there's no common sense of anything. Listen, at the end of the day. And I had this conversation with one of my coworkers. If a man wants to dress up as a woman, hey, by all means, go for it. You know what I mean? Live your life. Live your best life, okay? But you're not going to tell me that I should be okay calling you as a woman or saying that you're a woman when actually you're a man. You were born as a man, you're going to die as a man. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter how many cosmetic surgeries you have, how many, the wigs, the dresses, stuff like that. At the end of the day, you're still a man. And I don't think for me, I should identify a trans as a woman when all actually you're a man. You're never going to get pregnant. You're never going to have all the experience or the things that we have as a woman. Point blank, period. And then I feel like they just double down it and feel like it's their right. You know what I mean? Like we're taking their rights away for them as being a woman when that's not even the case at all. It's just very absurd to me. And I just wanted to bring that point out, and it's just ridiculous, and it's just very upsetting. And I know this has been going on for a very long time, and a whole debate about it. But to be quite honest with you guys, it shouldn't even be a debate. It shouldn't. You know, if you want to live your life and be a trans man or a trans woman, that's fine. That's fine. But let's just get serious here and let's be honest. At the end of the day, you can't get pregnant. You can't have periods. You can't have none of those things, okay? You're just a person that plays dress up and then you feel more comfortable in your own skin, even though God made you a certain type of way. And that's it. That's it. That's how it is. And there's nothing that anyone can change or do. We just have to learn to accept it. And that's fine. Like I said, I love everyone. I love who you are, what you are. But I'm not going to play this game and pretending that you're someone when you're not. When you're actually a man, but then you dress up as a woman. No, I'm not playing those games. I can, be cordial and kind and sweet and whatever, but I know what the Bible says. I know what God has created. He created a man and a woman. He's not an author of confusion. And just like CANDACE Owens said, when they check the sex, it's a male or a female. It's not saying that, your baby is trans. It doesn't work that way, period. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you so much for watching. That's it. If you really like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I just want to keep saying I really love each and one of you subscribing to my video, commenting as well, and it is giving me the love and support. And I love you all, and I really appreciate each and one of you. And I just want to just say that to all of you that are watching. And again, thank you so much for watching. That's it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.